the closed circuit television, and there's...
Yeah, can you direct the camera?
No. No, you can't.
So the one on the anchor is just on the anchor?
It's just on the anchor, it's right there.
Yeah.
So no, you can't direct it. What I generally do when I'm going to run the boat, like when I get up in the morning and I know we're going to go somewhere in the morning, the very first thing I do, about the same time that I just turn the engines on, like when I would come up, and if we're going to say it's 6 in the morning and we're going to depart, say at 7, I turn the engines on, and they're right here. So both engines are running. The next thing I do, especially if I'm expecting that I'm going to want my stabilizers, I turn them on and let them warm up, right?
Okay.
So it's in standby mode, and then generally what I do is, as we get out into, I leave it in standby mode until we're going to get into, you know, a little bit of chop or whatever. Then it's not engaging for some reason. There, it's engaged. So then I leave it engaged, right? On my engine displays, it gives me...
just if we can jump back. So just as far as sensitivity...
It's all set. It's all set. I would just leave it the way it is.
Just leave it?
Yeah.
And then if it was in a heavier... That's for the vast majority of wave sets that you're going to experience, certainly in these kind of waters.
Yeah, well, you can see we got our sensitivity set right up on 10.
Yeah.
So I would just leave it there.
Okay.
The trim is between one side to the other. I would
Yeah.
just leave it set in the middle at 0. And I'm not even sure what this is for. Well, just the dimmer on the lights.
Okay.
Just in case you're running at night. We leave it bright.
Okay.
So then I would, you know, when you stop for the night, of course. Or if you get in the daytime if you're running in smooth water, I would just leave it on standby, because it can affect the handling of the boat a little bit too.
Okay.
If you don't really need it, I wouldn't use it. But I would have it on standby all the time. It doesn't hurt anything to have it on standby.
So I know how to reprogram these for zeroing trip fuel and zeroing trip engine hours. You're fine with me to zero these out?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Not overall engine hours, though, right?
You can't.
No.
You need to have the back end to do that. But do you know how to zero them?
No.
So menu, and here you've got engine display, and that's so you can go through your displays.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second option is control system display choices. Program. So select, reset trip hours. Select, are you sure? Select, now reset trip fuel. Select, are you sure? Select, reset maintenance. You can't do it here, but I'll just clear out of here. So now when you go through, now you've got your engine display. Select, here's your main engine hours here, so you could hit select. There's your trip engine hours, 0, and then clear, and then there's your trip fuel. Select. So,
okay. And
then you can program this to be that you've got it in gallons, but you can go liters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you know, if you want to monitor your fuel use, you can do that.
Okay.
And then just clear to get out of everything.
Okay. These displays, you'll know if he's got these. He'll know that you turn these on, and that turns you'll turn your radar on, right?
Yeah.
Would you guys like some coffee or some Perrier or
I'm good, thanks.
something? What about you, Mark?
I'm fine, thank you.
So this here is you got to be a little bit careful. If you put your how does this work again? Oh, I know what it is. It's the automatic pilot. If you got your automatic pilot on, that's the control for that.
Yeah. You can keep talking. I'm going to. Okay.
So if your automatic pilot's on, you can turn this and it doesn't do anything. But it will set your, like you can do that, and I can't remember which one of the displays will actually show you the correction or the heading you've chosen, but the automatic pilot will override that.
Right.
But as soon as you take the automatic pilot off,
It's
if
good.
you've got your rudder set at 20 degrees port, 20 degrees starboard, the boat will just, as soon as you take it off of there, the boat will want to go in the direction that you've set
The
it on.
rudders are set at. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go off autopilot, you basically should have that centered. And then, do you have a dodge button, or
Yeah,
what's
right here.
So?
That's your dodge.
And is it preset, like 10, 20 degrees, or you press and hold it?
You just press and hold it, and you got to keep. As soon as you take your finger off it, it'll want to correct it, and it'll come right back to the same heading that you've programmed for it, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you do that, if you hit that button there, I think what it does, if I remember right, it spins you 180 degrees, so it'll turn you right around.
Huh?
If you hit that
It's like a man overboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And of course, you know how that works, right? You're always setting your heading if you're going along.
Yeah.
And you notice just as you're observing ahead that you need to go to starboard a little bit. Well, you just go like that, and oh yeah, it's come over and up.
So, auto engages the autopilot. What puts it into standby?
Auto again.
Auto again.
Yeah.
Same button. Okay.
You know how those work?
Yes. I fortunately never had to use them.
Good. But you can explain how they work.
Yeah.
These are hydraulic thrusters, bow and stern,
Okay. Is there a breaker switch to turn them on?
right here. Hydraulic enable.
Okay. Hydraulic enable.
Yeah.
You get that, Mark? Hydraulic enable to turn on. Yeah. Trolling valve.
It's got a trolling valve and it works.
Okay. Do you troll with both engines running, or do you shut one down?
Well, I've done both. I guess it depends. Every sea condition requires you to. How I've always trolled is by watching my downrigger line in the water.
Yeah.
I just know the angle that I want.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're trolling, and even though it's telling you you're doing 3 knots, you feel like you're going too fast or you're going too slow, so you just slow it down or speed it up. Sometimes I find that I use both engines and troll in both, or sometimes I just use, if you just troll in one engine, the problem is that you're constantly on the controls trying to
Keep the boat straight.
Keep the boat
Yeah.
straight.
So, when you hit troll and you're engaged in gear, you can speed up the troll and slow it down.
Yes.
Can you?
What it does when you hit troll, when you hit your throttles again, it will not accelerate the engine. All it's doing is it's letting your there's a slipping system in there, right?
Right.
So it's letting less slip happen as you go forward, and as you come back off your throttles, it's more direct. So
And
if you find you're going too fast, you just pull back on that, and you're slipping more. So then you're
Right.
going slower.
So it no longer changes the RPM of the engine.
No.
So there's no way that you can forget that you've got the trolling valve on and accelerate and blow up the transmission.
No.
Totally fail safe.
No.
Perfect. I love fail safe.
If you're where I just use this one is that when you're coming into dock, if you feel like you want to have a little more control over the boat, especially until you get used to it, you hit low idle.
Yeah. The station.
Oh yeah, active station. Sorry.
Yeah, I would always go out of here in low idle anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
And you know how sync works, right?
Yeah.
And you know that when you're in sync, when you come out of sync, like when you're in sync, you'll just use one lever, right?
Yeah.
When you come out of sync, you're going to get a alarm on here if you don't have these things fairly close together. So what
I always just run these together anyway myself. But
well, what I do is when I come out of sync, I just pull the bolt back into neutral, let it reset itself.
What's engine override?
I think that's, I don't use that, but I believe what it is that you can hit that button and then you can actually engage your throttle without engaging your prop, so that you're actually able to
or rev up in
rev
neutral.
up in neutral.
Sure. Okay.
I believe that's what that is.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
The searchlight, you know how that works, right?
Yep.
That's the control for it. There's only one windshield wiper, and you just push down for the wash. But Andy's going to install 2 more,
Oh, good.
so we are going in that direction.
Okay.
2 radios. One I use just to monitor channel 16, and the other one I use for
That's the working
that's
channel.
the working channel.
Yeah.
And navigation lights are up here, and there's a navigation lights breaker down there. Now I'll show you the tank tender.
Yeah.
This one is kind of neat, and it's important to know. So
Stiff.
it's on, yeah, it's new. Here's your tanks here.
Okay.
So number 1 is your, I can't remember if it's starboard or port fuel tank. Does it say which one it is?
Number 1's port fuel.
Port fuel.
Yeah.
So we want to know what you got on board. Push that button down, pull that button out, and push it slowly, not hard.
Right.
And then hold it. It'll go down.
To 49.
It's actually at 50. You're looking at the outside for fuel, right? Inches of diesel fuel. So you're at 57. Okay.
Let me,
So if you look down here,
I see the outside number. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
so if you look down here,
Yeah.
65 is full.
Okay.
So we're at 57. So we're close to full, right?
Yeah.
So then you go to the starboard fuel tank, which is number 2. Just about bang on the same.
Right.
Okay. Then number 3, fresh water. So we only got 5 inches left. 5 inches, and now we're on to the inside now, right?
Okay. Inches of water. Yeah.
Inches of water, okay? So we got 5 inches. 25 is full at 455 gallons. So we know we're getting low on fresh water right now.
Right. Okay.
Gray water, it's the same thing, eh? Gray water is the next one. So that's how much
It's empty.
it's empty.
And
And then the
black
final
water.
one is black water, and there'll be definitely some in there. But not a lot.
So that again
7
is
inches.
6 or 7. So
Yeah, we're half.
so you're half full.
So that's your tank tender. And what you got to remember, you got to just push this down. But when you push this in, just don't push it hard. Just gently.
Yeah. Okay.
And you only have to push it once.
And this is your bonding system.
Yeah, it just tells you that we're in the safe zone for electrolysis.
Okay. So prior to Bruce going out, I'll take this over to the pump